Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, May 30th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with the daily chart. It's the low 350s everywhere, descending two-thirds speed line. We settled above earlier in the week, Tuesday, 350.49, is preceded by the 350.139 to 352.06 area, which is both a 50% upside retracement that we've closed above so far this week. We've yet to close the week above it. Weekly settlements are really paramount for sort of validating longer term swings. And so bottom line, if we can close above this area on the weekly chart today, 351.39 to 352.06, we have a meaningful buy signal that we're expecting to play out, into later year, essentially. We do still see 383.76. Now, I've called this a 3 to 5 day swing trade. We're 3 days into it, and it's unlikely we'll see this today, but we can, by the end of next week, reach 383.76. It's considered a short-term objective. 427.01 likely by the end of June or sooner. That is the low of that significant high back in December, the key reversal high. It has its own inherent resistance. I don't see it as a long-term resistance area, but certainly something that can pause the market's rally, create a delay, if you will, and the market could top out here for a week or more, perhaps, on the way up to what would be, and I'm going to use the word would because we're not there yet, a 514.43, possibly by the end of the year objective. If we close today, the week itself, above 351.39 to 352.06. And for the day, that's also backed up by 350.49. Holding above this area maintains those upper targets. Upside today, I'm not sure if we actually show it. I'm going to comb through the charts here, but there is that low right here, this pullback low in early January that held for, the better part of a month, maybe a full month at 373.04. Yesterday's high was 367.71. We had a minor point at 367.34. We're always carefully choosing these points, but I do see where the market could get exhausted today is at 373.04. If we close today above 373.04, then these upper targets, 383.76, likely within just a couple of days, where we can top out on a daily basis, possibly into later next week, and if settled above, should then yield a 427.01 3 to 5 week objective inside of 2 to 3 weeks, where once again we can top out on a weekly, possibly multi-week basis. I think I've covered the upside pretty well. What if we break 350.49 on an intraday basis? It is possible we could test 340.25 today. We've seen that kind of volatility in the past. I will say that if we close today below 350.49, I don't see a good reason to stay long Tesla. In fact, I think if you went long recently, earlier in the week, based on this buy signal, you should exit that long position and just let the market play itself out. Because in my book, a failure to follow through on a meaningful buy signal, as this just might be today, with a settlement, of course, above the 351.39 to 352.06 area, once again, on the weekly chart. If we close back below this area today and below the speed line at 350.49, that is a clear rejection of a long-term buy signal that has bearish implications. And I do think if we continue over the next 3 to 5 weeks, we could fall all the way back to 272.23. Now, the clarifier for the momentum reversal into next week and into early June would be a settlement below 340.25. So if we close below 350.49 and we don't close today below 340.25 and you're still long, I would suggest certainly exiting that long position, reversing entirely, and aggressively playing the short side as we move into June with a settlement below 340.25. Another way to say this is we are clearly bullish into next week and through June and into later year, really, above this low 350s. And we turn decisively bearish if we were to close below 340.25 into later June, then expecting 272.23. There is a certain case to be made that merely closing below 350.49 today does set up 272.23 as a 3 to 5 week objective. But I have no problem in, before you act, let's say, on a short position, that you await violation of 340.25. Closing below 350.49, another way to say this is exit your long positions. Closing below 340.25, establish a short position. And that could play out into later June over the following 3 to 5 weeks or sooner, a 272.23 anticipated. Within a full week of closing below 340.25, I would expect 310.65 that may well contain weekly lows. But I think we will wind up reducing this to a session containment level only in light of the, the bearish effect of closing today back below 350.49. So I've covered the downside and the upside pretty well. But the takeaway here is if you're long, I think you can stay long. You've got nothing to worry about as long as we close today above 352.06 and not below 350.49. Because over the next, half year, potentially 3 to 5 months, by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised to see 514.43 if we close today above 352.06. I think that pretty much rounds it out. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We put out a stock pick yesterday on a Micron. You might want to check that out. We're always looking for at least 20% moves. This one certainly has that with the validated buy signal were it to play out. We give you all the exact conditions for that to do so. We also provide daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis every single day, just like your Tesla videos, but the Triple Q and the SPY, as well as weekly Apple, etc., etc. So check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla report. You have a great weekend.